It's Wendy Conrad from Your Happy Workplace, where work plus happy equals better business. And welcome to Sock Puppet Scenarios. Today, we're going to be talking about transitioning the team to working from home. And whether you're going to transition part or all of the team, whether it's going to be a temporary or permanent situation, we're going to talk today about some tips on how to do it better. So as we do in every video, we're going to see two sock puppet scenarios, one way to do it and one way to do it better. So let's check out sock puppet scenario number 1.
Hello everybody. Sorry Chandler couldn't be here, but we ran out of hands. Today we're going to be talking about transitioning to working from home. If you have any questions about setting up your home office, please contact Constance Kramer from IT and she'll help you out. Don't forget, it's your responsibility to check in weekly and let me know progress on the projects that we're working on. Any questions? Yes, Becky?
Actually, I have a question about...
You know what? Let's take that offline. Any more questions? Good. See you in a few weeks at the in-office mandatory meeting. See you later.
What the what? Jeffrey Miller from HR. Jeffrey Miller from HR. So there's some things there that he did wrong. I'm sure you can pick some of them out. He didn't address Becky's question. There wasn't really a clear plan on what they were going to do. And so I'm sure members of the team, after leading that meeting, had a lot of questions and they weren't sure who to turn to. So how can we transition the team better? I'm glad you asked. We're going to take a look at sock puppet scenario number 2.
Hello everybody. It's Jeffrey Miller from HR. And today we're here to talk about our transition to working from home. To kick off the transition for us to move from office to remote work, Constance Kramer, our IT expert, will be giving us an online webinar about setting up our home offices. You can expect her email invite by the end of the day. Becky, you'll head up the remote work support team. You have great leadership skills, and I know you want to help everyone through this change. We're all going to get through this great. Each morning we're going to have a 10-minute roundup online via Zoom so we can all meet and talk about projects, how we're doing, and how everyone's doing with the transition to working from home. We're going to have one more in-person office meeting to answer any more questions and talk about this transition. So, if you think of any more questions between now and that meeting, write them down. We'll make sure to answer all of your questions. See you then.
Yay! Much better, Jeffrey Miller from HR. That was a much better meeting where they talk about transitioning the team to remote work. Much better communication. We had somebody in charge. Becky was put in charge of the support team, so people know who to go to. They're going to get a seminar on how to create a home office at their home, and any questions that they have about IT or working remotely, they can go to her. And so that was a much better way of communicating and being a support for making a transition. Listen, change is hard for everybody. Our brains are not wired for change. So when you're making any kind of change in your organization, it's going to be difficult. But the work and effort may be worth it and could be worth it in the end if you try different things. So whether you're transitioning the team to working from home for a specific reason, or they're asking about it, or it's going to be temporary or permanent, there's some ways you can transition them better. And over communicating is one of those ways. So in scenario number 2, Jeffrey from HR talked about having daily 10-minute meetings via Zoom so everybody can see and hear each other about how everyone's doing, being a support, and doing those until people feel comfortable with the transition and moving over to remote work. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is be organized. Put somebody in charge. Becky is going to be the remote work support system, so that's a great way to get started. You can either have department heads do it or somebody who you think skills would lend to that, do that. Also, provide your team with resources. Not everyone is going to make this transition as quickly as others. So if you can provide them resources, whether that be just somebody from the team they can talk to, or have everybody meet up and share tips that they're doing, or resources that are outside of the organization for tips on them setting up their home office and how to mentally transition, because working from home is a whole different ball game about getting organized and setting up schedules and not just rolling out of bed and going to work. Things like that is a great way to get your team set up for success. And also my last tip is to keep it fun. There are so many things you can do remotely still to keep it fun and keep everybody connected, because when you're not seeing everyone physically and interacting with them every day, it's going to take a little bit more effort to keep the team connected. So things like having a virtual pizza party or an internet scavenger hunt, or just fun things that you can do to keep the team connected and to still have fun. It's still possible even if everyone or part of the team is working remotely. So I hope those tips help you today and that you enjoyed our sock puppet scenarios. I'm Wendy from Your Happy Workplace, and we'll see you next time.